Hi there, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles. I am here at the ABR Festival at Ragley Hall in Warwickshire in the UK. And as you can see, I'm here on the Ducati stand. And I'm here because I'm going to be test riding the new Ducati Desert X, you can see that's over my shoulder, around the part of the Adventure Trail here at the ABR Festival. So yeah, really looking forward to this. It's a bike I was quite interested in when I saw it at EICMA the first time in 2019, thinking it might be a version of the Scrambler, so it might have been that 175 kilo adventure bike. Wasn't quite what I expected when it came out. This one's based on the 950 Multistrada engine. So yeah, still very interested to see what it's like. Don't often get to test ride bikes on knobblies. So yeah, it should be really fun, and I will let you know how it goes.
What we're going to have for you today is, we've got a big old loop. We're going to be off sort of down, you see where those bikes are at the bottom, up over the back. We have to go through the village where you've just come from, and then we turn left and we head over to the side. So we're catering for all abilities. Please ride wherever you're happy, wherever you're comfortable. That's the absolute key. So the course out there is dry. There's some gravel roads, there's a bit of grass, just need to be careful on. We'll try not to lose anybody, as we did in the last group. So this is the new Desert X. It's been coming for a couple of years.
Here we go, out for a proper ride. Let's see if I can fall off again. There's some KTMs coming down on their ride out. Yeah, I'm struggling a bit with this a little bit at slow speeds. This is quite a heavy bike, and the gearing is, and it's lower on first and second, they mentioned in the briefing, but I still think it's geared higher than than a trail bike would normally be. But then again, I guess it's an adventure bike, not a trail bike, so I should just get used to that. So it looks like this is the first traily bit we're coming to. Oh, there's no entry, but I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, so I think a lot of this is clay. This looks a bit like one of the bits that was really slippy last year, but it's very, very bone dry this year. So yeah, first thoughts for the bike. Yeah, I'm not sure the gearing is quite right for a trail bike, but for an adventure bike I'm sure it's fine. The front brake on this bike is on or off. There's no progression or feel or anything like that. It's literally you touch it and the front wheel almost locks, so they've kind of told us not to use it, which is fine, except I forgot and gave it a little bit of front brake when we were first taking them out, and well, there's a little clip at the end of the video about that. But you know, the bike actually feels alright. Going around this sort of S shape now is pretty easy. This is just first gear, just letting the engine do its thing. You know, it's got so much more oomph. I mean, this is the engine that's out of the little Panigale, albeit with lower gearing in first and second. But it still has got the same fifth and sixth top gear, they told us in the briefing. So I think, you know, if you did want to go touring on this, then it's more than capable of doing that. First expert only bit, which I guess is for this climb, which actually doesn't look too bad, but let's see if I can drop it on here. A bit of a bend at the top. Maybe that's the expert bit. Keeping it rolling. Yeah, that was all pretty straightforward. Bit of a bump in here. There we go. Yeah, all pretty easy. I mean, this dry grass is very grippy. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward to do. Oh, KTM's letting us come back in, I think. I wonder why they didn't take the KTMs up the slightly steeper climb. Yeah, there's a few people rushing to try and get through that bit. Quite nice to get a bit of breeze though. And this is back down to the main entrance to the festival. Yeah, it handles well enough around those. What I'm not very good at is the very low speed tight corners, especially on an odd camber. That seems to unsettle me a bit, but I think that's me rather than the bike. Definitely me rather than the bike. Everybody else seems to be coping extremely well. It's actually a much longer lap than we got to ride last year. If you've seen my Multistrada V4 video, they just had us doing a very small grassy lap in that sort of start area. Alright, and here we are, almost back I think. One last steeper descent on the way back, and then I think we've got the final climb back up, and then we'll loop back up into the manufacturer's area. So yeah, it's been a fun thing to ride, fun thing to try. I'm not quite sure if it's the bike for me because I don't know where it sits in my garage. It wouldn't replace my CRF 300 and it wouldn't replace my GS. Would it replace both of them? I'm not sure. I think it's still a bit too big and heavy for that, if I'm honest. But I think if you don't want a litre plus adventure tourer and you're looking at bikes in this category, then I think this seems pretty good. Yeah, it's not the bike that I'd hoped it would be after I'd seen the prototype that was based around the Scrambler 800. I think they've made a choice to make it a bit more touring-y rather than adventure-y, which is fine. They'll probably sell more of them this way. But yeah, it's a really interesting bike. What I'll do is, I think we're almost back, so when we get back I'll do a bit of a walk around, talk you around a bit of it. I won't do all the specs because you can get those off the website. I'll put a link to that in the description, and I'll give you my final thoughts and then I'm all done. So yeah, really good fun. And one thing I haven't really talked about is the seat height. Now I'm 6'1" with a 32-inch inside leg, and I'm on tiptoes, not like proper tiptoes, but I'm definitely not flat footing it. I see that guy ahead of me in the grey Shoei has got his feet flat, so maybe he's just got longer legs or a lower seat than I have. But yeah, it's certainly a taller bike, I think it's fair to say. And here we are back at Ducati. That was a lot of fun, Just to give you a quick look, I'm not sure how well this mic is going to pick this up, but this is just a quick look at the bike that I've just been riding. I'll give you a proper look at the one on the stand, but yeah, this one's still got everything on. They've left the mirrors on it, it's got plastic handguards. Yeah, it will survive a little drop, as I proved earlier, but yeah, it's grand. Not sure it's quite for me, but it was certainly interesting to have a go at riding it. Just give you a quick close look at the dash so you can see what that's like. There we go, lots of lights coming on. Everyone seems to have this fade in the bike, and then it's, you know, crystal clear, high resolution, enduro mode. So yeah, all good. So that's been done. That's my test ride on the 2022 Ducati Desert X. So yeah, I really liked it actually. It's quite a nice bike. I think in that sort of middleweight category, it really is very competitive. I think, in my opinion, it's a better tourer than it is a trail bike. And I struggled with it a bit on the trails. Now I don't know if that's just because it was a brand new bike, but the front brake for me was a little bit too bitey. I think the seat height's pretty high, which might put some people off. And I know they can be like massively accessorized. They've got the rear tanks, they've got all sorts of other things you can put on them. It was a really fun bike to ride. It's great to be out trail riding here at the ABR Festival. If this has been interesting and useful, maybe I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, there we go.
That's all right, you okay?
Yeah, fine.
Right, ready?
Yeah. There we go.